Alright, in this video we're going to talk about solving proportions. I'm going to start out with a little story. Here is a cake that me and my friend Jerry bought the other day. I was going to have half the cake, and Jerry was going to have the other half of the cake. But he picked up the cake from the cake store, and he played a trick on me by cutting it into fourths. And he said, "Ha-ha, you can't have half the cake because I've cut it into fourths." And I said, slyly, "That's okay. I'll just take 2/4, my original half. And you can have 2/4 as well. Because 2/4 and 1/2 are the same amount of cake." He also called me a donkey butt. Anyways, so 1/2 equals 2/4. So if we double the number of pieces from 2 to 4 that we've cut the total cake into, then we just double the number of pieces I get, and I'm getting the same amount of cake, where the two fractions are equal. The same thing works if we cut it into different sizes here. So for example, this cake, I'm going to divide in half. I get half, Jerry gets half. Jerry tries to trick me, and he cuts it into sixths. So I just take 3/6. 3/6. Because I tripled the number of pieces, then I triple the total number of pieces, which means I triple the number of pieces I get, and I get the same amount of cake. Or I could even, hold on here, I could start out with 3 pieces of cake and say I'm going to get 1/3. I'm going to split the other 2 parts with Jose and Jerry. But that crazy Jerry, he cuts the pizza up, the cake up, hold on, bud, into 12ths. And I just take 1, 2, 3, 4 12ths of the cake. That was my original portion. I multiplied the total number of pieces by 4, well, Jerry did. So I multiply the number of pieces that I get by 4. And I end up getting the same amount of cake as before. Now the same thing can be done without the picture, of course. I could say that 3/4, and say Jerry cuts the cake into 30 seconds. So he multiplied the total number of pieces by 8. So I've got to multiply the total number of, hold on, bud, hold on, of pieces that I get also by 8, giving me 24. Sammy, you can't play. So now let's take a look at one of our worksheet problems. Here, you'll see we've got 5/3 equals something over 10. So we've got 5/3 equals something over 10. So originally, I was supposed to get 5/3 of the cake, which is actually more than one whole cake.
Are you making a cake?
Yeah. But Jerry tried to trick me by cutting the cake into tenths instead. And I got to figure out how many tenths did I get. And that's a little bit tricky, because 3 doesn't really go into 10 evenly. So what we have to do is we divide 10 by 3, and that tells us that it's 3.3 repeating is what we multiplied by. So 10 divided by 3 is 3.3 repeating. Hold on, Sammy Pants. We're not eating cake right now. This is just a story. All right? So then, if you multiply 3 times 3 and repeating there, let me zoom in a bit.
Daddy, I need to tell you something about the cake.
There's no cake, Sammy. Okay.
Up here.
That means we have to multiply up here times 3.3 repeating as well. Which turns out to be, let's see, 16 2/3, which is 16.6 repeating. So 5/3 of a cake is the same amount as 16 2/3 of over 10, or 16.6 over 10. These two fractions are equivalent. All right.